Everyone, my name is Kinga Incze. I'm the founder and CEO of Mediaspace.global, our award-winning B2B social network for media marketing, technology, and regulatory people, leaders and innovators, experts from these fields. It's a pleasure to have György Huszics today with us as part of our live member interview series. Who will be speaking a couple of things about carbon emission reductions and all things related to digital optimization. Hi, György, how are you?
Fine, thanks. Hi, Kinga. Thanks for having me. Let me introduce myself again. So I'm György Huszics, the co-founder and CEO of Carbon.Crane. This is a startup focusing on the digital carbon emissions, especially of websites and emails. And we help our partners reduce the digital emissions while improving their energy efficiency.
Thank you for the introduction. And let's start with one of the standard questions. What do you think the key challenges are when it comes to digital carbon emission related to digital and the advertising and media space specifically?
Well, there's a couple of them. I think the first one is the biggest one. I think that one of the climate has definitely changed, and this is the political climate, which means that sustainability is at least temporarily not as much as in focus as it used to be. I think this is something we have to do, we have to deal with, and we have to adjust our work to it. And secondly, is the accuracy. So when it comes to digital carbon emissions, you might find a lot of solutions on the internet where you just put a URL in a website that promises you the emission result, measuring the carbon emissions of a website, and then you would end up with a figure. And these figures, which you would end up with, are quite diverse. That means that they're not coherent. And this is why we had our measurement methodology validated by Bureau Veritas, who are the top certification company in the world. So we have ISO compatible results to make sure that we don't have to discuss grams or fractions of grams with our partners, but focusing on the negotiations, how to optimize the websites to make sure that it uses less energy and it emits less carbon. And third is the awareness. We can still detect that the level of awareness is quite low amongst companies. So it's not in focus, the digital carbon emissions. They don't really have it on the radar at the moment in many cases, not in all cases, because it's very good to see that there are companies who are aware of their digital emissions.
Yeah, when it comes to digital emissions, I think in our space, everyone speaks about programmatic advertising and those kind of very complicated value chains with lots of data and technology used. But in your case, you speak about websites and optimizing the website carbon footprint, right?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Actually, we are on the other side. You are talking about the advertising content, and but the rest of the website is the editorial content. So this is what we are targeting. Our estimation is the carbon emissions of a media website, for example, is roughly 70% is the editorial content and roughly 30% is the advertising content. And it's very good news if the advertisers try to do something to reduce the carbon emissions when it comes to banner advertising or programmatic advertising. But on the other hand, the editorial content should be optimized too. And I think there's a huge potential.
Yeah, so speaking of potential, my question number two, what do you think the key opportunities are for companies, including brands, publishers, tech companies?
I think the opportunity is there. So as we can see that there's lots of room for improvement if they start measuring their websites and if they start to deal with these areas, well, they can make huge reductions. Our estimation is like when it comes to the media, it's very diverse, but we can see websites with like 5-10% of potential opportunity, but up to 50-70% on different kind of pages. So I think there is a great potential to go to that direction and to start to deal with it. And when it comes to the media websites, it's not only good for the operator, so the media company, they can save on electricity, they can reduce their emissions. But when they do this, it's like a domino effect. So they reduce the energy need and the carbon emissions of the visitors, of the readers. And I think this is a very good opportunity to go to that direction and to start to deal with this. And also it's a good initiative when they start to work with the advertisers together in order to make sure that the advertising content will be reduced. And also there's another advantage that when a website or a web page gets smaller, it loads in faster and it gives them a better ranking at SEO. So SEO, sorry. So I think these are all very good news, and this is a good opportunities to to reason why to deal with these kind of questions.
And does it have some awareness and I don't know, mindset changing perspectives to speak about this carbon emission impact, not just as an environmental perspective, but also, like you mentioned, reducing cost of energy and stuff like that? Because to me, understanding this, it's quite quite a different proposition from just saving the world.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you now. The last sentence I couldn't hear.
So for me, what you just said, that this is a pretty rational perspective as well, saving costs on the energy side. It's more, how to say, pragmatic and just saving the world. That's what I was saying. So is it helping creating awareness for this problem and use this as an opportunity? I mean, these reasons to convince companies to reduce their carbon footprint of their web pages?
Well, I think, yeah, there is a kind of aha experience when we start to talk about what we can see on the websites. And we actually have an education platform, and this is for university students and one for the companies. It's important to know that according to a UNICEF research, 90% of the youth, they have some kind of eco-anxiety. This is one figure. And the other one is 84% of them would say that they wanted to know more about sustainability while they are in school. So this is why we founded our Carbon Class education program to help them better understand what's happening in the digital space. And they are quite eager to know more and more, and they are quite happy to understand what is happening on the website or what is happening with the emails. And I think that every day when we can move forward with the companies or with the universities, it's an additional impact on the awareness, and this is how we can make companies to start dealing with their carbon emissions and with their energy efficiency.
Mm-hmm. Right. So my obvious next question is, what's your advice, especially for companies, not the new generations, not B2C, but B2B, to how to move into this direction? Like, what's your advice for 2025?
First of all, they should put digital carbon emissions on the map and on the to-do list. That's important because what we see that in case of many companies, it is not there yet. And at the moment they start to deal with it, they will find that their colleagues would be quite interested what they are doing, why they are doing it, and this would lead to an educational program within the company. And it's very important to know 84% of the employees are quite eager to know what the company does for the environment, and it's a kind of loyalty that can be built based on this topic as well. So this is why I start dealing with it. Let's see what result it will produce for you, and you would be surprised because in some of the cases it's just like 10%, but you can save that. In other cases it's like 50, 60, 70%. And this is something you can calculate with as money because you just save on your energy bills.
Right. And adding to your last point, I just wanted to share it with everyone watching this video that we got pretty good advice from you previously, which was when I was asking, like, okay, György, give me just one advice how I can do this shortly and easily. And you said to reuse the photo sizes or image sizes, not always photos, like creative graphic design images as well, on Mediaspace.global, and we did that by changing the format very simply. Your advice was to use not the traditional ones, but use WebP as a format for images, and we did that, and it's like 50, 60, maybe more percentages on every little bit of image that we share. And obviously you need to multiply it by your audience and whatsoever, but I believe in these quick wins. So I just wanted to share your advice with everyone that we got, and add to your educational point that these are those information which can be easily adapted, and obviously the systems organizations need to understand why and what the company does on this, but you can do it step by step as well. So I think it's great that you are educating the market, and it's very impactful and pragmatic. So thank you
I'm
so much.
happy. I'm happy you are using it. I usually test my audience when I'm holding presentations or workshops, and I put the original picture here and the optimized here, and they can't tell the difference. But there is difference which is not visible. As it is called like 50%, 60%, 70%, or 30%, and that makes the difference.
Yeah, that was my worry. If you remember our conversation
Yeah.
back in the day, that okay, I don't want to lose on the quality of the image and so on. So probably these are standards Q&As already
Yeah.
for you, but it was in the early days, I think, and I think that's a good advice worth sharing. So thank you, György, for your time, and looking forward to meeting you at one of the Mediaspace events.
Thank you. I'll be there.
Thank you.